road, Jack. Don't come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more. No. Don't come back no more, no more, no more.
We're on our way to our final destination for the night. Let's end it on a high note.
Hello. Alright. Hello, folk. Welcome to the Furality music production for Dummies workshop. Basically, what we're doing here is creating a simple music piece that can varying length using multiple instruments from a set of loops provided to us through BandLab. Basically, I've already brought everyone up to speed here, but I'll give it a general gist for anyone that wants to join in as well. Basically, if you find BandLab through, for example, Google or something, you'll be able to register quickly. It'll take you maybe 1 minute or two, who knows. Depends on if you register through Google or not. Once that's done, you'll be able to click a button in the top right corner that says create, and that will throw you straight to where we are right now. Once you're in, you'll be able to you'll have this menu, which will most likely show up when you first create something. And you'll be able to click this button to start browsing through loops. Everyone that already knows what they're doing here, the ones that are in the voice can start working on their track now. But in the meantime, I'll basically explain to everyone else that might be watching the stream how they're going to be doing it. Through the loops menu, there is a 3 tabs: browse, packs, and loops. The third tab, loops, will allow you to find any instrument that is currently available in BandLab, either through filtering through the instruments or filtering by instruments or genre. So, for example, if I wanted piano, I could get piano only samples. And if I want to condense it a bit more into a specific genre, then I can pick something like electronic, hip hop, classics, R&B, basically pretty much anything there is, as long as it's been made, of course. Alternatively, you can find loops through the packs menu. For example, I am using classic, I think it was classic city pop. And this will throw us into a menu where we can also filter by instruments and genres, but will give us specific beats that were made for that pack. So I can assemble a pretty coherent song for that. If you click here, there will be an add track menu. This will allow you to create more tracks where you can also add stuff in. Alternatively, you can also just click and drag and create a new track through that. So in this case, I'll go ahead myself and work on something just to show you guys what we would technically be doing here. So start off with a Silver Yard beat too. While we're at it, I'll throw in some bass. We'll see how it sounds for starters. Pretty simple, very simple progression. And we'll see the bass. In this case, it'll work fairly well, so I'll move in the arm there. Also forgot to mention, you'll be able to repeat loops by clicking on this little repeat icon on the top right of it. That is, if you're not zoomed in an obscene amount like I am. So give me a minute. Alternatively, you can just do that and that works fine. when you're working on loops or anything specific like that, try to make sure that when you, for example, want to stop using something, make sure it stays within the measure or beat. That way, it doesn't cut out suddenly like this, for example. That way, when you've actually got when you're moving into something else, it'll actually sound coherent and doesn't sound odd or out of place. Now I might want to throw in, let's just go with, let's see what there is. I'll throw in a guitar since I like guitars. See how that sounds on its own. You can click the mute or solo button, which will allow you to do that. A bit fast, but it can work. When you've got something that sounds too quiet or is too loud, you'll also be able to adjust this little slider here that will allow you to adjust the volume of a specific track. So you can get this much louder or much quieter. In this case, I want it to be a little louder, so I've set it to be so. I'll throw in a second beat, or if there is percussion here, that'll work. Make sure it stays within the measure. Give me a minute. Alright, just gonna quickly take a call and I'll be right back. I'm back, so we'll continue resuming. Before I start again, does anyone here have any questions or need to ask anything about BandLab or how to use it?
I seem to be
I'm-
figuring out so far, but as
I have a pretty good like bass beat going on with the drum
Awesome.
kit, so it's gonna
Would
be
you
very
like
pat.
would you like to share it so we can see?
Me?
Yeah,
All right.
awesome.
Have
Let's see what you got so far.
something very simple.
Alright, that's
Yeah.
fine. Alright, let's have a listen, see what the beat is. Yeah, that sounds good so far.
Yeah, makes me think of
I dig
Hotline
it.
Miami.
Oh yeah. That MIDI editor thing is sort of blocked off until you actually select a track that has MIDI in it. See there. Alright, I'll get back to what I was doing now. Since I don't think anyone else has any questions or anything. I'll continue on with making my own thing. We'll get this little hi-hat thing going. Might ditch the guitar. Sounds a bit out of place, to be honest. Now we've got a bit of hi-hat going with the kick drum, so that helps add a bit of extra variety. Let's see how the crash sounds. Yeah, I'll use it. Bit of a way to don't know how to describe it, but avoid having it sounding too repetitive. So while we're at it, we'll keep adding stuff in. Let's see how these synth keys sound. Alright, I'll throw it in. So now at this point, we've got a basic melody and beat going. Maybe I might want to throw in, let's say, an organ. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, I think we could use it. Notice as we add in more samples, the track list will get higher and higher. Keep note that when this happens, if you have too many, for example, tracks, it can start to eat up your CPU. Especially, for example, if you're actually using a real DAW, something you've actually downloaded onto your computer, like Mixcraft. Stuff like this will actually start to eat up processing power, as making music can be quite resource intensive. So if you ever consider actually getting into creating music with like FL or something like that, then yeah, keep that in mind. We'll go into it, we'll add in the synth organ and see how it sounds in the current track. So far, yep, it's sounding good. I'll throw back in the crash for another run. You can also just control V any loops that you might need to add in again. Keep that in mind as well.
All right, so quick question.
Go ahead.
I've put in a loop, and I can't seem to be able to reposition it on the timeline. It's adjusting the volume.
It shouldn't be adjusting the volume.
I figured it out. There's
Ah,
the button
yeah.
above next to the add track.
Yeah.
I had that clicked. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. For the next part of the track, I'll swap out from using Silver Yacht to VHS, which, from what I can tell, is pretty synthwave 80s based. So it should be a little fun to work with. Keep note as well, you don't want to, when you're working on a track with loops, sometimes you'll also want to make sure you have some variety. So when you for example, adding a beat, try to make sure you're not using the same one over and over again, for a lot of the time. Otherwise, it can get pretty repetitive, and that is pretty obvious to pick up on. So in this case, I'll switch out to using a different organ. And also throw in different synth keys. A bit more. And finally, percussion, let's see. Again, we'll throw in our crash. And let's see how that sounds. Alright. So now I think I've gotten the track to a point where it can have a outro or end. I'll quickly go to where this is. Drag this all the way back. And now we'll just throw in we'll just change out when you're doing an outro, you'll want to gradually get rid of some instruments and then maybe only have one vet, or you could just do a simple fade out, which I know a lot of musicians will do that, and that's fine as well. But sometimes it's also nice to just have gradual instruments fading out one by one. So for example, in this case, I think I'll get rid of percussion. Drop it completely, and we'll see how this goes. And there you go, you've got your end of your track. As I said previously, how long you want the track to be is completely up to you, depending on the amount of instruments you're using. And for example, if you're only using one instrument, then you might not want to make it very long. But if you've got like a complex track with tons of different instruments, then yeah, you might want it to be a bit longer. So now I'll listen to my whole track in entirety. After this, we'll see what the others have done so far. So in total, that track went for around 2 minutes and 5 seconds. I don't expect everyone that is doing the workshop to have a song that goes for that long. Maybe they'll only have something that goes for maybe a minute or even half a minute. That's completely fine. Some people will, how do you say it? They will pick up on working on stuff like this quicker than others. And music production can be a pretty finicky thing. So it's something that you will see a lot, especially when you're working on this kind of stuff. Now that the track's complete, in terms of notation, it does not mean that the actual track is complete. For example, you might still want to work on the actual mixing and mastering part, which involves specific things like panning a track to have it on the left or right speaker, or adding effects. Mixing and mastering is probably one of the most important bits of music production, and as it will have a large role in how your track will sound in the end. So, for example, I'll start off with getting this percussion. I'll solo it. Sounds pretty good centered, but how about if we want to have it a bit more on the left channel? We'll see how it sounds in the mix. You get a bit of variation here, as you can see, because every other instrument is on the center. It's in the center of the stereo field. Maybe we want the keys to be on the right. And for the organ, we'll put it on around to the left as well. That way you've got multiple instruments filling in this little empty space that would otherwise be left unfilled if you weren't actually doing any panning. That should give you an idea. When you're working on stuff like, for example, while simple percussion like this is fine, simple percussion like this is fine to pan, it is probably best not to do it for example, let's just pull up this. You won't want to do it for ones like this, as the drums tend to be the center of a mix, especially when it comes to kick and snare drums. They tend to be what's called the center of the stereo field. So they should always try and keep them in the center of the mix. But everything else is pretty much fair game, even bass, which bass is probably one of the more finicky things that people like to talk about. Like, some people say it should stay in the center of the stereo field, as bass on its own can pretty much fill it out, but others say that it can be panned, and what you do is up to you. I don't really care. And either way, it should hopefully end up being a good song. Now that we've got most of the panning done, we might want to add some effects. So, for example, we'll just go for the keys. Yeah, sounds pretty empty when you solo it. So let's see. Here you've got presets which can allow you to do some random things. So, for example, if you pick bright ray, now will equalize and add reverb to your keys. So let's see how it sounds with and without. Notice how with it on, the keys end up playing on higher frequencies, because the equalizer here is actually adjusting what frequencies it plays at. So if I bring 6.4 kHz to 15 decibels, then that will make it much more tinny, should you say. And of course, reverb here is adding a bit of echo, and, well, you know, echo to a track. You can also adjust the basic shapes here. So, for example, you can change it from being a simple room to a hall, and see what the difference it makes. Notice how there's more reverb here. It better fills out the actual stereo field. Sounds pretty good. Something you should also consider is balancing specific instruments. So that way, if you look here for a second, you can see how there is this master volume thing right here. Notice how every time the kick plays, that goes up. That's because the kick is pretty loud. What you don't want to happen is turn down your volume, because this could get a little loud. you don't want it to get like this loud, as that can actually end up being a problem. Especially, you do not want your audio to distort. So you do not want it to like get around into this area, because that is pretty bad for your mix, and it won't sound as good. So when you're working on stuff like this, if you're introducing some loud samples or a lot of different tracks, mixing it is important. So we'll bring down, for example, I brought down the drum here. We'll see how the VHS Night Speed sounds. I brought it down a bit. It still sounds good, and there's a little less volume, so it's less likely to distort. Lowering the volume also gives you room to up the volume of other instruments to make it a little louder in the mix without distorting, which can be pretty useful depending on what you're doing. Alright, since I'm pretty sure I pretty much explained every big area of producing a song, I'll go around and see what everyone has done so far with their own tracks. So I'll go down from alphabetical order.
I've got pretty much nothing because I cannot stick with something.
Yeah, that can happen.
Same.
Usually you want to ensure that you stick to a different genre. That way you don't go around as much.
I just spent a lot of time just finding the right genre because a lot of the packs are not really my style. But yeah, I found something now.
Yeah, just pick a genre you like, throw in the instruments, and see how it goes. So, dude, with games, how much have you done so far?
Hang on. I messed it up last minute, but hang on. There we go. How do I stream? Oh wait, derp. Share my screen.
Yep. Let's see. What you got so far?
Not much. Not sure if you can hear my audio.
It'll still be better than nothing. All right, let's see. All right, stop playing.
Well, yeah, but otherwise, can you hear it?
Yep. It's good so far. I like the beat. I like that horror synth that you had at the very start, right after the 80s horror synth keys. That was good.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise,
is that all you got so far?
yeah, it's all I got. As like,
It's a good base. It's a good base. So you could keep on going, add a bit more synth to it, and I don't know, a bit more beat variation, you know. So yeah,
variation.
Yeah, Fur Me On. What have you done so far?
Oh, what have I done?
No, Fur Me On. I'm talking Fur Me On.
Oh, okay.
Not much, but that's just a basic.
So you're able to share your screen, Fur? That way we can see what you've worked on so far, or would you rather not?
Okay, so let me see.
There we go. Let's see what you've got so far.
Not really much, but like yeah, some kind of like a little bit only, yeah.
No, that's good so far.
Hmm.
Got a good beat. I like the lo-fi. That's good so far. But yeah, keep going and see. So far, it's good.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit only. Yeah, just
That's
need
fine.
to discover more.
Yep, so far so good. So Icaro, don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Have you got anything you'd like to share? Would you like to-
I don't have a lot. I just have a basic drum machine going so far for the bass.
If you want to share it, you can. We'll listen and see what What do you think? Otherwise, I'll just go on to Lumi.
I'm trying.
Okay.
It should be the right window.
Like that's right. Audio, but it sounds good so far.
Yeah, it's just a repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, so far so good. Keep working and see what you come up with, yeah?
All right, then.
Let me see what you've done so far. Lumi? Let's take a guess about Lumi's AFK. Medicine. Oh, no, hold on. Me and Lumi started the stream. Let's see. Let's see what we got so far. That's good so far. I like the choice of beat. That's good. I like the chords as well. That is really good. Keep going. See what you come up with. Medicine.
Can I quickly throw in a question? Can you somehow just cut off tracks, like pre-existing tracks? Like, just at a certain point you wanna have it muted, like the whole rest. Can you somehow mute that or cut it off?
Yeah, you can. Like,
that was nice. Yeah, I just seen it. Okay.
Yeah, so you know what to do. Alright. Yeah, Medicine. Do you want to show us what you've done so far?
Yeah, okay, so mine's really weird and probably really sloppy, but I've been having fun with it, so
well, that's good.
I will
As long as you're having fun, that's what matters, and making a good song, I guess.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do stuff like this for forever, but never knew a program to do so. So this is great fun.
A program I'd recommend is Mixcraft or BandLab. You can just use BandLab since it's online, but I'm afraid Mixcraft you're gonna buy. Same with
All
most.
right. Can y'all see it?
I'm just waiting for it to load up still.
Yeah, it's loading up. I would quit it out and try it again.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep, here we go. Let's see what you got.
I'm gonna play it. Here we go.
That's good so far.
It sounds so silly.
Yeah, just make sure, like, when you're working on something like this, try to focus on using leaps from a simple genre, but so far it sounds good. You know how to use it, that's what matters. I especially like the choice of loops to start. I like the hip-hop style.
Yeah, I don't know, I was doing something and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do something completely different.
Yeah. It's not like sitting on a GTA San Andreas or something.
Bait and twist.
Yeah, bait and twist, pretty much. I know some songs that do that, so yeah. There's a genre for everything in music.
I have not created an outro yet, though, so that's all I got.
Well, keep working. See what you can make up. Raylan, wanna see what you've done so far?
Just a second here. Let me go back to that tab.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time trying to find like a lead. Not VR chat. That's not what I want to stream.
If you have trouble trying to find a specific instrument, maybe it's better to just focus on other instrument first and try to do that last. That way you avoid spending a lot of time trying to find one thing, where you can get everything done before that. Alright, let's see what you got so far. Can't hear it.
Interesting.
Hold on, no, I know why. I had you muted for a second.
Okay.
Alright, it should flow fine now. Don't know why I muted. I like the guitar. That's a good guitar. Yeah, sounds good so far.
When that second one kicks in, I'm switching up the drum pad, but I haven't come up with a different pattern for it yet.
You'll figure it out. So far, it sounds good. That's what matters. Just keep working on it and see what you come up with. I doubt song Redwoods. I doubt the song Redwoods actually doing anything. So. Awesome. Alright. Awesome.
Yeah, this is great.
Wendigo. Wendigo, let's see what you've done so far.
Alrighty. So I'm not gonna lie, whenever I actually read the description of the workshop, I kind of went in and messed around and found this little set, so I just kind of started messing with it.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna hit play.
That was really good. I liked it.
Thank you.
Good beat, good melody. Got all marks.
And it had a proper closer too.
Alright, Zakushi, do you want to show off what you've done so far? Zakushi?
Yeah. I just have something done now in 5 to 10 minutes. I can show it.
If you don't want to show it, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I totally can. This one. Go live, right?
Yeah, go live.
Yeah, there.
Good melody.
There's the beat somehow a bit weird, I feel like.
Trying to make sure, yeah, when you're working on tracks on stage to a specific beat or metronome, that way you don't end up.
Yeah, the problem is these are all just a few beats differently, 60, 96, 92 and stuff, and with the guitar towards the end, I feel like you hear that out.
Yeah, that's fine. Sounds good. Let's keep working on it and see what you come up with, I guess. Mizzy, would you like to show what you've done so far?
Me? Okay.
Yeah, if you could show what you've done so far, that'd be awesome. Right, let's see.
Hold on.
Yep, just waiting on it to load up.
Need to make sure sound is working.
It's not playing on my end.
Yeah,
Still loading.
Yeah, it's not loaded on my end yet.
Might have to close the stream and re-go live.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Second time's a charm, hopefully.
Let me know how you like it. How was it?
Yep, it was good.
It's pretty good. I like how
Good melody, good beat. I like the genre. That was
it's
good.
very upbeat.
Yeah, it is. I really
was
liked
kind
it.
of I was kind of inspired by New Order's Blue Monday.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it sounds good. Keep working on it, make something out of it, and see what you come up with.
Okay.
Alright, so I think that's everyone with I think that's everyone with us to
I can go ahead and close it out now. I mean,
Yeah,
the
you can.
stream, right? All right.
Yeah, so I'd say we're pretty much done here as far as the workshop's concerned. If you want to keep working on your tracks in BandLab, and by all means, BandLab's a really powerful tool, especially for creating simple tracks like these online, and you don't even have to download anything like FL or Mixcraft. If you never, I hope this actually inspired some people to actually delve into making music, because I know that I was really inspired to work on music after I attended a similar workshop. So I was hoping to get some people into it as well. So I hope that everyone here enjoyed the workshop. If you ever have any questions, like with making music or using BandLab or another DAW, I've used quite a few. Then feel free to hit me up, because I'm always happy to help work on a track or just provide feedback to what you might have done. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I think you can leave the voice now if you want. Otherwise, if you want to stay in and just chat a bit, then yeah, that's fine.
All right, thanks for the workshop.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Awesome.
Because I did
When
band
I
in high
eventually
school.
get done with mine, where would be a good place to post mine?
Huh?
Where do you think would be a good place to post mine once I'm done?
Honestly, I'm not even sure if there's a really good channel in the Furality Discord to
Probably
advertise
just
stuff.
different things.
You could if you have a Fur Affinity account, then you could post your music there. Like you could just render it and post it there. There is a group there's a group called Furry Musicians that I work with. I manage their Discord server, so you could probably, if you find that, you could probably also post your stuff there and see what others think of it.
Or I could try the off-topic channel in here.
Yeah, true. But it'll probably get it'll probably get it'll probably get buried quickly.
Yeah.
Kind of just a general curious question. Like BandLab definitely seems like a good program to start out with, especially because it's free and it's online available. But like, what are the next steps? Maybe you continued on experimenting with, like, especially like one of the most popular ones are probably Fruity Loops, right?
I
And like,
think
what's the difference? What do you recommend when maybe look into other things? How long should you get comfortable with something like BandLabs?
Well, that's a good question. I've worked with acoustic Mixcraft for most of my music production stuff. I started working on music in 2014 when I was like, I don't know, I don't even know how old I was then. I was like maybe 12. But yeah, I started working on that in Mixcraft, and most of the and that's probably the most easy, and that's probably the easiest digital audio workstation to get into in terms of like how user friendly it is, because a lot of stuff is just like right there. It shows you how to use it, and it's very similar also in terms of interface to BandLab as well. So that's probably also a bit easier. 3D loops can be a bit more difficult because it can take a bit to understand like how the whole UI works for that, but most of Mixcraft is like fairly simple and easy to figure out. The only problem with the only real difference though is FL and Mixcraft are both paid programs, so you got to spend money on them. But I think in the end it's worth it, especially for like Mixcraft. I can't really say the same about Fruity Loops because I haven't used it enough to really get a really good impression of it though. But I'd definitely say that upgrading from BandLab, yeah, maybe the next step would either be Mixcraft or Mixcraft or FL Studio.
Is it just like Mixcraft 9 when I go onto the website? Is that possible?
Yeah, Mixcraft 9 is the latest version. I actually
Okay,
have it
good.
open
That's
right
the
now,
right
so I
one.
can show you exactly what it looks like. So if you're still watching, you can see what. So this is Mixcraft. If you can see it, I'll show
Real
you. Like,
quick, thank you for the
Okay.
panel. It's fun.
no problem. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm glad you liked it.
I'll see everybody around.
All right, take care.
Yeah, see ya.
But yeah, so yeah, this is like the basic user interface of Mixcraft. So everything that, as you can probably see, it's very similar to BandLab. Got everything here in the track list. You've got the actual timeline on the right, editor project sounds on the background. Transport this time is right above the actual editor though, so it's not on the top like BandLab was. But yeah, overall it's pretty much similar to BandLab, but it allows for more powerful things. You can add in your own VSTs, your own libraries and such, so you can get much more realistic sounds than you could out of like BandLab.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my
But
like my main problem with like BandLabs is, I guess, I'm way too much of a perfectionist.
yeah,
And like
I kind of like that
a
too.
lot of the sounds when you put them together, it's just like something's never right.
Yeah, I get
And
what you mean.
that like pitch and stuff.
I get what you mean. I like to like work on recreating like video game music. Like I like to try and recreate um video game music as if it was made
Okay.
today with current generation technology. Like for example, the Star Fox soundtrack with what I've got so far,
Okay.
or Halo. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
That's awesome.
yeah. I can
Yeah,
show
it's
off some
really
of the
awesome.
stuff. I can show off some of the stuff I've done if you'd like.
Yeah,
Sure.
keep
Sure.
going.
And I'll post it in voice text, since it takes a bit of time to open the actual project. That's just the general gist of what I can do, pretty much. But yeah, But yeah, like as I've said, Mixcraft can be pretty powerful to use, especially compared to like BandLab, which I don't think allows you to actually. Well, it'd be pretty difficult to get it to use VSTs from your computer, but the biggest advantages BandLab has is that it's free. You've got a lot of features built in aside from being unable to import your own stuff, which can be a bit of a shame. But you can like even plug in a guitar or a bass and just use that straight in BandLab. Fine. I
Oh,
think
so this thing.
What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say this thing's free then.
Yeah, BandLab is free. Mixcraft is not.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I think throughout my college, well, I mean, I decided to go more the art path, but from the rare time that I'm making music, I use a software called Linux Multimedia Software, or
Oh yeah,
LMS.
LMS. Yes, I know that one. It didn't run too well on this computer for some reason, so I never really used it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because I'm still able to, let's see here, load up VSTs or whatever. So it was funny. I think what was it called again? It's what's used to rip Super Nintendo music.
VGM trans.
The VTM trans. I thought there was like a 600 or 6,000 tied to it.
Foobar 2000, you mean?
Well, that's Foobar. That's a music player, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
think.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I know I use VGM trans for ripping SNES stuff.
VGM trans. Well, I mean that's ripping, but in order to get the sample or ripping the sample
Yeah, it
off
does
of
that
it,
too. Yeah,
I'm
that's
trying
what
to
it does
remember.
too. It gets the sequence and samples of SNES stuff. Probably stuff I shouldn't talk about here, since that's technically I don't think it's legal, but eh. Anyways, I think I might call the workshop here. So if you want to keep talking about music stuff, like then feel free to add me because I'm always happy to talk about music and creating music. And if you ever want help making stuff in BandLab, then yeah, just feel free to hit me up because I'm all ears.
Right then. Thank you for the talk then.
Yeah, no problem. I hope you all had fun. I'm gonna hop off now. If you want to
thanks
add
so
me,
much.
then yeah, if you want to add me, then
Yeah,
feel
it
free to.
was absolutely great.
Alright.
Definitely inspired. Thanks.
I'll see you guys later.
See you
Yeah.
later, man.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
See you later. Thank you.
See ya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good
Can't
one.
wait to cross mine when I get done.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it too.
Well. Well, I